Yeah, here's another good one. Wow, for a guy who chose the Aethos, you spend a lot of time riding your SL7, wink. You still have the Aethos? I thought you liked the Aethos more than the Tarmac. All right, I've got to confess, the Aethos has been hanging in my garage. If you've been following this saga, you'd know that I bought an Aethos in December of last year and I put about 1,000 miles on it. I loved the Aethos. I still do. It's an incredible bike. I even made a handful of videos about it, about how much I liked the Aethos and how I was convinced and I was sure that it was gonna be the bike for me. But ultimately, the SL7 won, and here's why. To give a little bit of context, I've ridden about 2,400 miles this year, 1,000 miles on the Aethos, 1,000 miles on the Tarmac SL7, and a few hundred miles between the Crux as well as my Epic. And for whatever reason, I keep going back to the SL7. For me, the SL7 just feels like home. I'm incredibly familiar with this bike. When it comes to performance, I think the Aethos still is the more well-refined and well-mannered bike. It climbs incredibly well, it descends incredibly well, and it's like the bike that's always in sport mode, that gives you all the performance benefits of a high-performance bike without the twitchiness of it being in Sport Plus mode. Contrast that with the Tarmac SL7, which always feels like it's in Sport Plus mode. Always stiff, always responsive, always corners like it's on rails. Anytime you hop out of the saddle, it immediately responds. Not necessarily in the smoothest manner like the Aethos, but it's immediate, sometimes a little bit twitchy, but man, for me, I love that feeling. The Tarmac SL7 handles exactly how I want a bike to handle. There's something to be said about knowing a bike so well that you understand the output of every single input into the bike. Those of you who have had a favorite bike, I think you understand this, and I think I've now understood why there are some bikes that you just don't get rid of because they're just incredibly special. Maybe not to everybody else, but for you, they just work. And that's how I feel about the SL7 after now 7,000 miles. And look, maybe I can get there with the Aethos. I only put 1,000 miles on it. Maybe if I rode it for a little bit longer, I'd get there. But for whatever reason, coming from the Venge to the SL7 right out of the box just felt really, really good. It felt familiar, it felt snappy, it felt responsive. It was everything that I was looking for in a road bike at the time, and it continues to provide that same satisfaction that I got on day one. I've heard some say, well, of course you don't need the Aethos, you have the Crux. Why would you need the Aethos? This has nothing to do with the Crux. While the Crux may have led me to the Aethos, I see them as completely different bikes. So if you're someone who has an Aethos and you're considering a Crux, by all means get a Crux. And if you've got a Crux and you're looking for a road bike and you're debating between the Tarmac and the Aethos, don't feel like there's not room for the Aethos. There's plenty of room because they are totally different bikes. I said before that the Aethos's biggest problem was that the Tarmac SL7 was still in my garage, and that proved to be true. See, I never sold the SL7, and so it kind of sat there, and then I started riding it, and then I remembered why I loved that bike. And I love the Aethos, don't get me wrong, this isn't a knock on the Aethos by any means. I just love the Tarmac SL7 that much more. It's an even more incredible bike for me. So Aethos, I'm sorry, it's not you. It's me. Next up, we're gonna talk about the Hammerhead Karoo 2, as I've been using that for almost a month now, and I figured out some of the quirks and features, and I'm starting to form an opinion on whether or not I think that's a worthwhile upgrade or not. I've also got a Cervelo Aspro that I'm gonna be sharing some thoughts about, and I'll compare that to the Crux as well. And I also have a set of the new classified wheels, and if you're not familiar with that, I think it's worth checking out. It's kind of a unique drivetrain that has all the benefits of a 2x or a double chainring, but it has the simplicity of a 1x system. If any of that interests you, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Until next time,